Hi, I'm Christopher Steck, an associate professor in the Department of Theology and Religious Studies here at Georgetown University. I'm coming to you from the fourth floor of New South Hall with what I hope might be some words that encourage. Some of you have heard the story of John Newton. He was a slave trader, but after a brush with death, he underwent a conversion and eventually became an abolitionist. Later in his life, reflecting back on his conversion, he wrote the words that now echo throughout the American religious life. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. Now, why have these words captured our religious imagination so much? I think they reflect a profoundly human experience, that of coming to recognize we were wrong, that we had lived a lie, and we now feel liberated from it. It's not just that we had been mistaken and now are correct, but rather we undergo a transformation that we experience as good, as a blessing. Our hearts are liberated, and we become free to be the people that God wants us to be, and in turn, to labor to free others. Now, I'd like to think our culture is experiencing an amazing grace moment. For what the tragic stories of George Floyd and far too many others are showing us, what we are allowing them to show us is that we as individuals and as a culture have been caught up in a lie, one that wounds all of us. And recognizing the truth, we are responding. And so NASCAR banned the Confederate battle flag, Quaker Oats retired the Aunt Jemima brand, the NFL acknowledged that they just did not listen adequately to the concerns about racism, and the recent celebration of Juneteenth Day became part of the national consciousness. Such occurrences might be dismissed as ornamental, but I am hopeful. It's a hope grounded in the deep, fundamental goodness of human persons, a goodness that endures even in our brokenness and sin. And because of that enduring goodness, I believe that whenever evil is brought into the light, when we are forced to confront it, to see it for what it is, we will, as a people, respond out of our better selves. I believe that this is one such moment. As we become newly aware of the scourge of racism, our focus is on those who have suffered from its denigration and violence, as it should be. But what the song Amazing Grace, with its sweet saving sound, also reminds us is that the cause of liberation, every genuine cause of liberation, is always good news for everyone, the oppressed and the oppressor. Racism in all its pernicious forms poisons everything it touches. And we don't want to live in a culture deformed by racism. We don't want to be individuals poisoned by it. God has called us to life, good life, true freedom, liberated from everything that wounds our humanity. The hope offered us today is that we are hearing that call with a new urgency, the call to be agents of liberation for ourselves and for one another. Answering that call is good news for all who are oppressed, but it will also be an amazing grace for all of us. Thank you.